Majo John Nadden, Juanito, they call me in Mexico, and I'm still using my Mexico name, even though I've now been in the States for 22 days, and with no clear path to get back, which is troubling me a lot. I came up from Playa del Carmen, Mexico, via Cancun, the big Cancun airport, on the 2nd of June, 22 days ago. And although I had taken 4 years working my way from Asheville, North Carolina, down the Mississippi, 3 months in New Orleans, a year along the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, 2 years in Mexico, I had taken a long time to get to Cancun. Really, I was living near Playa del Carmen. In one day, I was back in Asheville. Boom. And I'm still like that. I'm still like whiplash. Holy cow, and it's cold up here. And although I lived here 16 years from 2004 to 2020, a whole lot has changed. I've changed quite dramatically. And then on March 2nd, March 3rd, I got sick and went into renal failure, and then got misdiagnosed at the Poor Person's Hospital in Playa del Carmen as having end-stage prostate cancer. And I spent a number of weeks believing I was dying. Now, in Asheville, shortly after I got here, I checked into the Mission Hospital and got a CAT scan, which the Poor Person's Hospital in Mexico did not even have a working CAT scan. That's how poor they were. So they were flying by the seat of their pants, and that diagnosis was an intuitive, wild-ass guess by an intern who I believed was the urologist. And that was a very chaotic month, almost a month I was in that Hospital General in Playa del Carmen. So I arrived here on the 2nd, believing I was dying, and then pretty shortly, within a few days at Mission Hospital, they said, well, we don't see it. You have 3 possible cancers. Prostate is swollen, and that's why you haven't been able to pee, because the prostate's too large, and stifling, choking the urethra. You have a nodule on your kidney, which could be cancer, and you have a lump on your face, which almost certainly is facial cancer and will require some kind of maybe Mohs surgery. I'm not too worried about that. But all 3 of them problematic. But I got liberated from the death sentence that I thought I was facing. And the issue has been, well, what now? How do I spend my time here now that I know I probably am going to live the summer and probably will stay here dealing with various doctor appointments, follow up with urologists, etc. How do I make all this work? And in this rehab center where I am right now, 8 days ago, today is Saturday the 24th, 8 days ago on a Friday after having been here from the Big Mission Hospital, I came here for rehab. And all of us understood that my Medicare, my American insurance, still there, praise God. Didn't help me in Mexico at all, but in the U.S. I have insurance, Medicare. Well, there was a snag in the referral. I had not done 3 midnights in the hospital, or not officially. I think one night they classed as observation rather than full hospitalization. So whereas I believed, and the social worker at Mission Hospital believed, and the social worker here at the rehab center all believed that Medicare was going to cover, after 2 nights on Friday night a week ago, Friday during the day a week ago, the office person said to me, gee, sorry, no, Medicare is not covering, it's covering your therapy. Oops, that made me jump. Hi.
Sorry, got one little pill.
Okay, one little pill, great. Do you want to be on camera? Probably not. We'll leave you off camera.
No, it don't
It's
bother
your
me.
chance for fame.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. Thank you. See you
You're
later.
welcome.
See, I've got a pill. This is the one that makes me larger. Or is this the one that makes me small? But the ones that your mother gives you don't do anything at all. See, the kids don't remember Jefferson Airplane. To go ask Alice. Yeah, I remember that stuff. Never did see them in concert. So this is omeprazole. I took Tums for years, for 5 years. That was the only medication I took. And this is like that. It's not one of those proton pump inhibitors that wreak havoc with your whole system. I was on those for years because Western medicine, U.S. doctors, if they can, they will. If they discover they have the power. Oh, we can stop his stomach from generating acid at all by using this substance. And they had me taking that for years until my family doc internist in Asheville here said, you know, they're finding Alzheimer's drug. So let's cut it back. And when I went back to nature and got off all my psych meds and everything, Tums was it for 5 years. And now omeprazole is not a huge, doesn't hammer your system, but it seems to keep it steady so I don't get acid. So, where's all that? So I'm here 24 days later. Oh, what I want to explain is, how was it that I ended up walking around one night? Wednesday, 10 days ago, I spent the whole night homeless. You know, all the craziness that went on from my renal shutdown and my cancer diagnosis, and then the U.S. consulate flying me up here to get better medical treatment. I didn't keep track of my money. Yeah, that's so me. They sold me a emergency passport because my passport had been stolen. And so emergency passport, I think that was expensive. And then flight from Cancun to Asheville via Atlanta, that was expensive. So it was here that they said, no, you have to pay out of pocket for the room and board. And I thought, okay, I have to do that. Turned out I didn't have it for all 3 nights. I had it for 2 nights, and that was a big shock to my system. Like, whoa, my money's gone. That's a big shock. So I did pay for that, and then spent 3 nights with a friend in North Asheville. And then Wednesday, a week ago, my friend dropped me off downtown by the Salvation Army shelter. I checked there, no room, no beds there. Walked down the hill to the rescue mission. No beds there. Went to lunch at the Haywood Church, where they have all kinds of services for homeless people, including sometimes respite. No, that wasn't going to work. So it ended up I had no place to stay that night, and I walked all night. And I'm going to tell a story about one of the icons. I ended up walking past. It was too cold. It was too cold to sleep behind the visitor center. I was going to do that, but it was too cold, so I just walked for hours. But I got to see a lot of the places that had been really important to me in Asheville, including the big concert venue. And I'm going to tell a story about a concert I saw there. Actually, 2 concerts I saw there. But that's your context. If that made any sense, I'll have to watch it and see if it made any sense. There was a major interruption with the nurse who didn't want to be on camera, and I kind of thought that. Okay, bye.